Okay, let me find a spot. Okay, yeah. So this is another... Let me set you up. Hold up. Oh, and I meant set up the camera, obviously. Okay. So this is a second in the pillow talk session. How are we looking? Just let people settle on in. So this is going to be a pillow talk as well as a 3-card reading. Oh! So these 3 cards I pulled without looking at them. And they're going to help us with this. Part story time, part channeling, collective messages, as well as story time, interwoven with story time from my lived experiences. And I just don't want anyone getting distracted with my face and my mouth and my hair and my eyes and my everything. So should I do that thing where it's just like, what is that thing? There we go. Just so no one gets too distracted. All right, so the pillow talk sessions, as I said last night, this is in an action, I should say, because it's not an attempt, in an action of trying to make my work, trying to make my protest a little bit more feminine in terms of where that femininity rests within myself, because wow, I can feel so much like stress in the collective. I can feel so much like interference in the wavelengths of the collective. And rather than combat that with my axes and my swords, I'm choosing and making an action to respond to that with cups, with water, and with the warmth of fire. The message that's coming through today is about essentially when a hierophant or a magi, for you, obviously only take what resonates, but basically when you are claimed without knowledge, without consent, or the way that this message is coming through is being claimed in temples unseen. Now, for you, this might be a literal place, it might be a literal space, it might be a group, it may be an energy, or it may be a temple within somebody's mind, somebody's subconscious. For some of you, that is more than one person. For some of you, it is one key figure, is what I'm being guided to say. Please give me clear divine guidance, be most beneficial for everyone involved. Part of the idea of the pillow talk sessions is also to to create space for like open conversations within the spiritual community around energetic cords, around what it is spiritually, energetically, metaphorically, to have safer spaces, including the temple within and the temple within other beings that you come into contact with, whether that be in the 3D realm or in other realms. Yeah, so this is also in some way connected to some of the other channeled folk stories, modern folk stories that are starting to come through in this space at Codes of Harmony. Thank you so much for clicking like, sharing, and subscribing. As every single person who is on YouTube knows, that helps the algorithm. So if you would like to help this channel, if you would like to help this work, if you would like to help me personally, then click like, share, and subscribe. I'm an independent woman and I'm doing things on my own merit over here. Maybe that's a message for somebody. Yeah, so I've been thinking a lot about somebody in my life who I will not be naming during this video. And I'm being drawn to share this story because many of you have experienced this, are experiencing currently, or are going to be experiencing something along these lines. And that is when a magi, a hierophant, a shaman, a leader of some kind of spiritual group claims you without letting you know, without clearly communicating that with you, or even worse, trying to cover that they have, trying to hide the fact that they have claimed you in temples unseen, in conversations unspoken, in behind doors that have purposely been closed so that you cannot enter them. And of course, this is a really important conversation to be having at this time, because there are so many people seeking spaces to pray, spaces to heal, spaces to connect with other like-minded souls who are also awoken, conscious on some level, the level that is appropriate and fits with you on your journey at this moment. Wow, there's so much energy coming through right now. So yeah, often this will happen. You could say this can happen in the spirit spirit realm. The spirit realm. Although whelm just sounded like the second half of overwhelmed or overwhelmed. Yeah, that this can happen in the spirit world. This can happen in the energetic planes, in the quantum planes of existence that are not visible to the human eye, that are not necessarily even able to be spoken about in these humble human words. For some of you, it'll be so extreme that this has happened intentionally and through very real conversations that have happened between different quote-unquote leaders. And we must remember that not all leaders should be leaders. Not all leaders are leading groups with the highest intention. And, a lot of people that climb to a place of power, quote-unquote power, or dominance, or some role where where people are looking to them. Not all of them get there via roads that are ethical. Some of them straight out stomp on other people to get where they are. yeah, so often this will take place with some element of, the tricky thing is that often, very often, this does come with some kind of connection to the heart space, to the realm of cups, to the realm of emotions, sometimes tapping into the placements, the astrological placements of water that you have in your chart, in your being, in your personality, in your destiny. And that is not only your destiny as a spiritual warrior, as a spiritual healer, as a spiritual being, as a creator of light, as somebody who makes change for good in this world, but also your place within the very group, the very temple, or the offshoot of the space where these conversations have taken place. The um, the way they're showing it to me is like there is the seen part of the temple, of the monastery, of the whatever spiritual space it is for you. And like I said before, for some of you this is physical, it's a literal thing, and for others of you it is more of an abstract metaphor that I'm speaking to you in now. And then there's like tunnels or like pathways or like hidden doors, like almost like that, like Adam's Family vibe of like, or a spy movie where you like pull down a particular book, or you twist a particular light handle, and then a wall opens up and reveals itself to be a door. And then that door leads into a tunnel, or leads into a stairway, or leads into another section of the temple that is unseen. And yeah, so it goes without saying this happens, this like claiming of um this claiming often happens from a masculine energy to a feminine energy, but not always. Sometimes it is a feminine energy claiming a masculine energy, or what can be even more insidious and hard to talk about and hard to expose within these spaces, within this context, is when there is a toxic feminine energy trying to claim another feminine energy. For some of you, this will be a romantic context. For some of you, this will be literally trying to claim you just to use your gifts. For some of you, this will be targeting your parental wounding, whether that be your the the wounding within your inner father, or the wounding within your inner mother, or your connection to your bloodline mother or your bloodline father or your bloodline Abba if your parent does not identify as a woman or a man. And so the targeting of this particular wounding is extra problematic, because often, as all balance needs to come through your process of healing, your spiritual journey, these are the wounds that you naturally will come to a place that you want to / need to heal. And so you'll find that these hierophant energy, sometimes they present themselves as a high priestess, sometimes they present themselves as a high priest, as a shaman, as a medicine person, as some kind of what's the word? I keep wanting to say priest, but that also probably has a lot to do with like context connected to my bloodline, to my spiritual well, there's so much energy trying to interfere with me right now. Just calling in extra protection over this space. And I don't know how much you can hear me. Like, I'm not sure if the Rainforest internet is going good right now, and you can actually hear me. I hope you can. Because what will often happen is that you will be on your ascension journey. You're on your path, right? You're on some kind of spiritual journey. For many of the people that I am addressing and speaking to, for many of the people that this is going to resonate with, you are somebody who has a lot to offer the collective. You are somebody who most probably has the potential to end up as some kind of leader, or somebody who creates great ripple effects, great positive changes within the whole collective. Yeah. And so this energy, for a lot of you, it's a person who is in some kind of role of responsibility. They have claimed you and they have not informed you of it, or they have not got proper consent from you, and by extension have not gotten consent from your spirit guides, have not gotten consent even from the temple that they are claiming to lead, right? And this has definitely happened to me in a number of ways, ranging from the energetic and more abstract to the very literal. And in that very literal case, the one that is really on my heart this morning to talk about, it very much affected my business, like my actual business. And it actually, this magi, right, this shaman who had claimed me without telling me and without my consent or full understanding and knowledge, when I clued on to this and I challenged him on it in front of his flock, right, essentially, he basically cut me off from the healing space and cut me off from the temple, and intentionally, very spitefully, very aggressively, and quite publicly cut me off from literally hundreds of people that I had helped heal. He cut me off from people that I had given sound healing to, people that I had worked with in medicine circles, people I had given sage advice, oracle wisdom to, people I had given tarot readings, oracle card readings to, people I had been instrumental in their healing process. All of which he was making money off. Real money, like actual 3D coins are falling money, right? Often what these energies will do is they will present themselves in a way, they will go out of their way to make it look like they are not attached to money, like they are not attached to status or wealth. And I do want to take a moment to say that there are lots of trappings, there are lots of traps set up throughout every spiritual space, every healing space, every healing community, every group or organization or religion. There is always traps for the leaders. There are always temptations. There are always points in the road, forks in the road, where the leader of the temple is offered to sip from the lower frequency cup, to sip from, quote unquote, the devil's cup, right? And that comes down to ethical choices that each spiritual leader makes within themselves. But when they know and they have placed themselves within a position of power over the flock, over those coming pray in the temple, coming to heal in the temple, coming to practice their own healing gifts, and then to take away that magic and that energy and take it into their own spheres of community and teach and heal and so on and so forth. Wow, I'm getting such a loud ringing in my right ear. Just rejecting all projections, rejecting all projections. Yeah, so it's kind of, there are elements of it. There are definitely complex elements of this. Wow, the ringing in my ear right now. Rejecting all projections. That so the more you heal, and keeping in mind that the people I'm speaking to, you're not all going to identify as healers. You're not all going to find yourself in industries where you're healing. But whatever industry you're in, if you do conventional work, or whether it's conventional or not, whether it's paid or not, whether it's 7 days a week or 7 hours a week, you are in some way raising the vibration of Earth, the Earth plane, not just the humans, but the living animals, the trees, the water, the very elements. You are part of the healing of Mother Earth, and in turn, the healing of us as a collective. So don't get like caught up on like if you don't identify as a healer. For a lot of you, you're creatives, you create music or art, or some kind of form of higher frequency expression. Anyway. Yeah, so there's an element of this that can, not to sound dramatic, but it can have almost like the frequency of like arranged marriages. And I say that from the perspective of, with a full understanding that there are very different cultural contexts that can take place in, and that they're not all good and they're not all bad, right? But they are varied. So it's almost like an arranged marriage being organized within the secret chambers of the spiritual halls, the spiritual temples, the churches. Or for some of you, it's like literally just a community, a class, an organization, even a town, a village, for some of you, this is the citadel energy that we were picking up on the other day. And there's so many complexities that come with that. One of which is that you are placed in a position of many other beings competing with you without reason from your perspective, because you've done nothing to these other people. And often it'll be other feminines if you are a feminine, or other masculines if you are a masculine. Take what resonates, leave what doesn't. And so it puts you in competition with the other people in prayer, the other people in your class, the other people at work with you, the other people who sometimes it's even in your family, the other people who are in this same place of healing, whether that's literal or not. So that sucks. That's fucked. Like from the get-go, that puts you in a compromising, tough position. The other thing that happens is it puts you in a place of importance and a place of power without you necessarily having the conversations that will inform you of that will keep you aware of that, and will keep you prepared for that. That means that you might get the sense that you're being watched by other people in the space, in the temple, the metaphoric or literal temple. and that you have been placed in an unspoken, unacknowledged, almost always unpaid position of power where you are benefiting the energy, the person, place, or thing that has claimed you. It's not a thing, okay? This is a person. This is an energy or a person. Sometimes it's a whole organization, but it's definitely like a living thing. So that puts you in a certain like tough spot. Then there is this like what are we gonna call it? A term that I don't like to use, this Jezebel position, this Jezebel idea of like being quote unquote the other woman, because usually the person or the group that has claimed you already has a either a stand-in or somebody who is actually already holding the position that you have been claimed for. Oh my gosh, I can feel like jaws gnashing at me saying these words. I can feel like blood boiling. And it's not a nice feeling, but I'm fucking done with it. Like I'm so done with not exposing and talking about these truly oppressive things that are taking place to people like me. Let's see what these cards have, right? So these three cards I just pulled from the Rider-Waite tarot deck before I um, walked out of my little magic cottage. And I haven't seen what they are, so let me turn them over now. 3, as in past, present, future, as in mind, body, soul, as in the underworld, the earthly realm, and the ethereal realm. Okay, so for the underworld, for the mind, and for the past, we have the Devil card. For the earthly realm, for the body world, for the body, the physical, whether that's your body or many bodies, I just heard. Okay. And for the present moment, we have the Queen of Wands. Oh, and then for the ethereal realm, the heavens, the up aboves, and for the soul, and for the future, we have the King of Wands. I might just take a minute with that. I'll be back.